I have the job interview today. Went shopping yesterday at this very same mall. Had no idea what to buy. Eventually found something. I guess it's cool. And I'm about to walk in. Well, actually, I've been in this parking lot since about 5 o'clock, and the interview is at 5:30. I thought traffic would be a lot worse than it actually was. So now I'm just sitting here, like, oh, can you see? I'm just journaling a little bit, trying to figure out what to do next with my time. Kind of have a busy night, and then I got to go to bed by 9 because I have to be to work by 5:30 in the morning, and then I'm done at 12:45 tomorrow. Yeah, just trying to anticipate all this stuff, but it's just been a full day, and I really haven't been able to do too much. In the time that I have had, I worked like 6 hours today, so like I kind of wanted to slack off a little bit, and I kind of feel bad. I got some work done, like an hour worth, but besides that, you know, not too much. Hopefully I can get some stuff done tonight, but I don't know. Anyways, we'll see. Maybe I'll give an update when I get out of the interview. We'll see how it goes. All right, so I just got done with the interview, and I think it went really well. I just like enjoy interviews, genuinely. I don't know why. I hate it for the vain reason that I think I like talking about myself sometimes. I think it really helps me sort myself out. I think that's also why I'm talking to this camera right now, honestly, because I need to say things out loud to sort my thoughts out. And I think it's nice for that. Anyways, it seems like a really cool place. And I think the environment is something that I would vibe with completely. And therefore, I'm more excited than I was when I went in. And I didn't really know how to think about a second job, but I think if this is the prospect and this is what I would be working, bouncing back between the coffee shop and Books A Million would be really cool and rewarding, I think. And I'm generally excited. So I guess, are things looking up? Are things looking up? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I feel in like 3 days, right? Because, you know, the first entry I did on the first week was good, and then 2 days later I was like crying on camera and stuff. So let's see how I feel in like 2 or 3 days. See if this is a consistent thing or not. I don't know. So it's still January 23rd. After the interview, I went home for a minute. I changed into something slightly less fancy. I worked on my writing for a little bit, but then I went to this going away party for one of my coworkers at work at Capitol Ale House, and it's really interesting that I have to open at 5:30 in the morning. I plan on getting to this event at like 7:30 and staying until maybe 8 and just saying hi, but I ended up getting there at like 7:30 and staying until 9. And I'm gonna wake up at 4 tomorrow, and so my bedtime was originally at 9, but it's past 9 now. It's actually 9:20. So I gotta get to bed. But the truth is, I wasn't super jazzed about going to work tomorrow, except it really helped to go to this thing and see my coworkers outside of work and just see how cool everybody was. And that makes it a lot easier to want to go to work tomorrow. Just a little realization, I guess. And I think that's gonna be it for today, because I need to go to bed. Good night. I had this idea that life is like a box of Q-tips. I just made the worst pour over I think I've ever made. I was too lazy to hand grind the beans. Can you see that? It just looks not good. I don't know, it looks weird. It looked worse before, I promise. It was really bad. I did all of those dishes this morning. It's only 6:31 in the morning. I woke up at 5. Took me a while to kind of get started. I woke up at like 4:50 today because I thought I was gonna go to the gym, and then I realized I was switching up my days, and so I'm still really sore on the thing that I need to work out. So I didn't end up going, and I'm gonna see if I regret that later. It's an experiment, and that's how I always justify not doing things, is by calling it an experiment and seeing how I feel. But anyways, let's get back to the Q-tip conundrum. Let's actually go look at some Q-tips. Look at these Q-tips. You see that little dent I put in them? And then look on the side here. You see how many that are left? There are 750 Q-tips here. And life is similar because looking at that box of Q-tips, I can't imagine ever finishing them. Imagine 750 days. I use a Q-tip every day. Where will I be in 750 days? That's about 2 years. I don't know if where I'm at in 750 days is going to be great, if it's going to be better than where I am now, but you can rest assured that those 750 Q-tips will be gone no matter what. It's weird if you don't clean your ears. I like to clean my ears. Only mainly, not because of the aesthetic thing or because people will judge me, but because it feels nice after a shower. So that's something I do every day, and those will be gone no matter what. Just like the days of my life, 750 of them will be gone in 750 days. There's no doubting that. It seems like an obvious kind of thing at the moment. Then if you look at it in other ways too, imagine how much coffee do you need? / how many times will you go to Starbucks and get, $4 or $5 drink in 750 days? If you do that every day, that adds up to be a lot. And it compounds and compounds, And imagine all of these other things that we're buying that also add up. However, I don't know where I'll be, but I look back 750 days ago, and I couldn't imagine them taking place. But had I done something every day for 750 days, I have no idea where I could possibly be right now. And let's get metaphorical about the whole thing. Ultimately, Q-tips are kind of pointless. I'm not sure if there's a pun there. It's kind of pointless. It's got a soft tip. Anyway, they don't really serve much of a function, and that's kind of why it's a weird thing to talk about right now, to compare life to such a thing, because it's so menial. But at the same time, every day kind of seems menial at the time, especially right now. For me, speaking from a personal place, I do the same thing every day. I wake up, I go to work, come home, make food, do the dishes, and that's about it. My life right now is pretty bland, like a Q-tip. And if we want to get existential, as I usually do, there's not much of a point to anything except the fact that we're here, and we might as well make the best of it. So we might as well use our Q-tips, right? We might as well have them. We might as well have our life. We might as well spend every day that we have. But for me, the biggest hardship, I guess you could say, is knowing that progress will come. I've been writing a lot about my past, and I found that quitting is a big part of it, because I don't trust that the outcome will be positive or even wanted, or if I will even progress at all. But I can assure you that I look back to when I quit those things, and if I kept up with them, I would have been loads and miles better than I was, for sure. I can look at that with 20/20 vision now, in retrospect. And even if I couldn't do much every single day, I could have done a little bit, and even that would have been huge. 30 minutes a day could have gone a long way, because all of a sudden you run out of Q-tips and you have to go buy more. And as weird as it is, I kind of judge my life off of things like that. Like, where was I the last time I bought Q-tips? Where would we be if we could only realize that 750 days of something every day adds up? And you have to commit to that every day, the same way we do arbitrarily to things like Q-tips. This might have been a little much, but just a thought that I had. And so right now, how this applies to me is that I'm writing about my past, about my present, and about my future. I've put in about 7+ hours of work on my past so far, and I'm about a quarter of the way done on just the past part of this whole writing program. And it seems like it's taking forever, and it's the only thing that I'm kind of doing on the side besides work and, maintaining homeostasis. But I kind of have this idea that it will eventually pay off. I'm going to do this, I'm going to follow through on this goal, and then I'm going to see where I'm at after that. And then I'll have to move on to another thing for another 100 days, however long it takes. But I think we have to have faith in ourselves that committing to these things will prove beneficial. Because I think what made me finally realize that is having faith that if I don't do it, I will be nowhere that is better than where I was before. I will be in the exact same place, having accomplished absolutely nothing. Even if this writing is arbitrary and it doesn't do anything for me, it gives me a little bit of a purpose. And I think that's infinitely better than if I were to not commit to it or anything at all. So I think I might be making this video as a way and a means of procrastinating towards that writing. I have work today at 10, so I have a few hours to put into this, even just a little bit. A little bit will go a long way in eventuality in 750 days. Hey there, so it is Saturday, January 27th. I should have taken more videos because I just got back from going home for my mom's birthday. My mom's birthday was yesterday. I went home to surprise her, and that was a good time. Got dinner last night, and then this morning we went out, did some errands and stuff, and it was a good day. And then I came back to Harrisonburg. Been busy since then, and I'm about to go to bed. But I have this new feeling that when you feel like crap, maybe you should just get over it and do more. I feel like I've been kind of letting myself be slow and figuring things out, but I feel as though I kind of have the basics now, and I need to push myself yet again into discomfort. I've been kind of in comfort for maybe a week or like half a week just about now, and it's making me more stressed than I think it should. Let me rephrase that. It is making me more stressed that I'm not pushing myself. As opposed to pushing myself, I think I would feel less stress. I really don't know how to implement this, but I think I've decided, instead of being stingy with my money a little bit too much and staying in my apartment at all times, I think it's worth it to pay like $2 to go to a coffee shop and sit down. I feel like my environment throws off my productivity a lot. I feel like being in my apartment is really not an amazing place for me to get work done. It's much better since I moved everything around, but alas, it's still just a little bit too comfortable. I think I need to get out, go somewhere, be among other people where I'm not alone, and out in public where I don't feel as prone to goofing off or slacking around on the computer. Let's say it takes 4 hours to get an hour worth of work done in my apartment. I think that would be reverse, like 180, if I were to go somewhere in public. I was asking myself, is that worth it? Is it worth it to pay $2 or $3 to get 4 hours worth of work done in 1 hour? And that sounds pretty good to me, especially at this time when I'm pretty desperate. It sounds like a pretty good investment if we think about it that way. Plus, with that investment, you then get a little bit of coffee or like tea or something, and you get the environment, and you just get to get out of the apartment. And that, to me, is kind of a big deal. And we're going to see if it works. Actually, I've been doing the self-authoring program. That's my main focus right now. And I found that all through my life, there have been situations that have pointed to the idea that I am both introverted and extroverted. And I need to figure out how to work that into my new situation in life. And so my mom said something interesting, that maybe I should be working on being around others instead of working on myself and all of this other stuff, which I think I can't not do. I need to focus on being around more people in this time, because even though I might be productive, I'm not necessarily happy. And I don't experience as much joy or peace in my life if I don't have kind of other people to bounce off of, I guess. And like, what is life without others, I guess? I'm sure I can make it, but it would lose all of its relative purpose. And so I think if I invest some of my time, energy, and effort into other people, it might be a worthy investment to just make me happier in general. And even though it might take some time away from productivity, it might also boost my productivity and make me enjoy getting somewhere while also maybe getting there faster. So I've also thought about this word. It's kind of an awkward word. It kind of sounds like it comes from nowhere, but as I've been shopping more and I've been buying meat and stuff, I see the word lean a lot. And I like that word because it has a lot of different connotations with it as well. We're gonna ignore the drug reference that it might, also be referenced as, and we're gonna go with the kind that applies to meat. So lean is when you take all of the fat off of the meat and it's just straight meat. No fudger, no extra space, no filler. And so what does that mean if you apply that to life? That means you cut all the crap that you don't need. You find what only gives you value and brings your soul nutrients. That sounds nice and weighty and beefy, right? It makes your soul strong. I really need to work on cutting out the crap in my life. I spend a lot of time doing nothing. I have a lot of increments of 30 minutes that I don't really use, and so I just waste them doing other things when I think I need to just get over that and do something within those 30 minutes and realize that I can get something significant done in that time. There's always little white bits of fat at the end of each bacon strip, and it's really just annoying. And it's like, really? You were so close to having a perfect bacon strip, And that little strip at the end is 30 minutes. The 30-minute increments, or even like an hour increment, that I'm like, it's not enough time to really get anything done. I have to do away with that in my life. I think that's important. That's something I'm gonna work on. But also, I think you can use the word lean as in lean forward into something, or lean on somebody, like lean on me, like you have somebody to lean on. The thing that I described at the beginning of this clip, which is, when you feel like you're sinking, push harder to get through it instead of, just giving yourself the benefit of the doubt sometimes, like try pushing through it. I think that can also be summarized in the word lean, like lean into something. You have to lean into the wind. When you do that, you're really like stretching yourself. You're spreading yourself kind of thin because you're pushing yourself into the zone of discomfort. And so I also think when you're leaning into something, you also need to lean on something as well. That can be an activity, but I think for me, while I learn to lean into things, I need to learn to take time to lean on other people, because that's not really built into my life anymore. So I think for this next segment of my life, as I make a few further adjustments to my focus, I want to focus on the word lean. It's kind of weird. I think it's a weird word. It's just very arbitrary. Like, where does that come from? And how do you just realize that a word is suddenly pertinent to your life and metaphorically valuable? But as roundabout as it is, I think it should be helpful. So my week is about to be wrapped up after tomorrow, and I hope tomorrow, as I have the day off, will be able to be a day that I can be proud to end the week on. This week has been a pretty good week. I think I only cried once. That's pretty good. I definitely feel like I'm making progress. Even though it might be slow, it's one Q-tip at a time. But if I can lean into the wind, I think I can maybe get up to 2 or 3 Q-tips per day, and that would make me feel a lot better. I also kind of have this feeling like I shouldn't need to feel that way. But you know what? We're going to see. We're going to see how I feel not being lazy. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna try it for a few days. Push myself a little harder. But now I'm gonna go to bed. It's been a long day. But not really. I mean, it's been pretty easy. I didn't work today. I don't work tomorrow. It's been pretty easy. It's been nice. I've enjoyed this. But gotta end it somewhere. 5 o'clock shower. Forgot to de-thaw the bacon and the sausage this morning. So I just made eggs and pancakes because that's all I had. And did my dishes. Now I'm going to the gym. I've kind of made a montage of what today was like, but it's 5:20 in the afternoon right now, and I want to start editing this video, so I'm going to recap it and end it here. This week has definitely been the best of them all. And I think I say that because work was the most predictable this week, and it was also the most consistent. I worked every day for 4 days straight, and that was that. I've been kind of waiting for my job interview call. Well, I did have a job interview, but I'm waiting for the call back still to hear from that job. I worked on Friday, got off at around 4, and then I immediately went home for my mom's birthday and to see the little pups, which I totally forgot to get a video of. There might be a video on my phone, I don't know, but I didn't even think to take a video when I went home. I definitely need to get better about that in the future, like taking more videos. Like I just went on a bike ride and I took no videos for clips, even though I knew I was making a montage today. And it's not really a montage, it's just a more accurate portrayal of what I did for the day. And today, let me say, is not an accurate representation of how I've spent most of my days since graduation. Today is the beginning of an experiment of what I talked about last night before I went to bed, of like leaning into things. I definitely went pretty hard today. I had the entire day off, which was very nice, and then I went to a coffee shop this morning and I worked there for about 4 or 5 hours. I paid $2.50. I even tipped a little bit just for like a little coffee for admission, just to sit inside and get their vibes. And I got so much work done, and I did so much that I definitely feel as though I would pay that much money to get that much work done. Because then I got a lot of work done there, but I had momentum, so when I came back home, I finished the entire thing. I mean, I must have written over 8,000 or 9,000 words today, and that's huge. I think I have one more day of the past authoring program, and I'm going to finish that tomorrow. So I think I'm going to adopt this new style of living in which I kind of don't stop. I don't want to stop moving or doing something necessarily. I think if I do stop, then I'm going to schedule that stoppage. And I might watch a video here or there while I eat dinner or something, but this morning I put on a podcast, went to the gym, listened to the whole thing, finished it, listened to half of another one while I cooked breakfast and lunch, finished that one too. And so it kind of just depends on the day of what you need. And I have some videos lined up to watch for dinner that I'm about to eat after I finish up this video, and while all the videos import to my computer so I can edit them. But all of that is scheduled in, and I think if I continue down this path of getting stuff done, I won't feel as bad for scheduling in a little bit of downtime. And from today, I definitely feel like I'm on a roll of sorts. And when I went home for my mom's birthday, we talked a lot, and I found that in accordance with the writing I've done, I realize how introverted and extroverted I've been. I think I've mentioned that on here before, but I think I need to suit my life more to that. So today, I've also done some research into some volunteer options, and I think that would be a good way of getting out there in the community, giving back with no expectation for monetary gain, just focusing on others and being around others in a supportive and productive way. She thought that would do really well for me, and I've also thought that it would do really well for me. And anytime that I've ever given my time for free in the past, it's always paid off. Taking those opportunities have always paid off, and I'm going to take another adventure slash experiment and see if it pays off again, which I think it will. There are 4 organizations that I'm interested in, and one of them that I definitely will be doing is the ASPCA. I want to be an animal socializer. That would be awesome. It's not exactly people, but it's getting outside, it's getting around animals. I don't have any animals here. I can't have a dog or any other animal in this apartment until I move out, I guess, and find another one. Every time I go home, I absolutely love being with my dogs, and I see my cousin has this awesome dog, and they have this beautiful relationship that I wish I had with an animal. But I think this would be a good way of getting out there and also having some of that interaction and positivity that an animal can offer. And I looked on their website, and all of them are so cute, and I am actually very excited to kind of get involved, but I can't do that until I go to orientation, which is on like February 10th, so I got a little while, but it's an exciting thing to look forward to in the near future, which is exactly what I've been looking for. And then I think a day later is orientation for Skyline Literacy, which is also interesting. I could do that, or the Boys and Girls Club, or the Explore More Museum, which is also kids oriented towards science. I could volunteer there. Those are, I think, the 4 organizations that I'm looking into doing, but I think that would be a good next step. And who knows where those opportunities could lead. Maybe they could lead to a job somewhere down the line. If not, I'm sure, it would benefit me somehow. It would look good on a resume, whatever, all that kind of stuff. But that's not really what I want to be in it for. I'm just doing this as an experiment to see how fulfilling doing something without monetary gain is, and just volunteering my time. And I want to get a little bit more experience with kids. I think that'd be really fun. I think I want to spend more time around animals. And I also really like books and the idea of teaching. And I kind of want that stuff in my future. So these might be the only ways to get it. And maybe I should think about it that they're giving me the opportunity instead of I'm giving my services to them and they owe me money, kind of thing. So I didn't get a breadth of things done today. I did very much so accomplish depth in the past authoring program, so that's great. I did a little bit of research on the volunteering, and then I'm going to edit this video and hopefully get it up pretty soon. And I think that will be a day that I'm freaking proud of. And I think this decision was a good one. And I'm excited to see what my life would look like if I did this every day. And I don't think that's undoable. However, I think it is possible that this might lead to some stress. However, I don't think it is necessarily negative stress. I think it would just be because I'm tired and I'm not used to being so busy and doing so much that it might be overwhelming. It might be. But, as my mom would say, whenever I say, but, you never know until you do it. And so here I am, trying to do it. It's the 3rd week, and I'm feeling pretty good. Still simple life, making it gradually more complex, but I think it's headed in a good direction, and this week makes me feel more positive and optimistic about that. And if I can keep what I did today up, I think things will turn out really well in a manageable time span. And now that I talk about it, I'm pretty excited about not a lot in particular, or not a lot specifically. I can't really name things specifically, but I think this mentality is exciting in itself, and it's kind of exciting to see where it will take me. In the past authoring program, I was analyzing one of my memories, and it was basically just a summary of how I feel. It was towards the end, so it's about recent times and getting on track. And I thought I came up with a pretty good way of looking at things. I think right now in my life, I'm metaphorically traveling up this mountain. And that's pretty cliche, but the whole point of it is I can't see what's on the other side of the mountain. I'm on a path now, and it's going up this mountain. Just being on a path in general is insane for me. It's infinitely better than where I've been. And that place that I've been is not fun. So being on this path, hiking up this tall mountain, is arduous. It's a little hard. Takes a lot of work. But I'm going up the mountain. However, I can't see past the mountain. I don't know what's on the other side of that mountain. Usually when people hike up a mountain, they go up there specifically for a hike. They go up there to see the views. They go up there to see what the eye can see at the top. Usually they can see their house from there and they try to find that. Sometimes they find something on the other side and they're like, wow, I want to hike to that place. However, right now, I'm just doing the trek up the side of the mountain. I don't know where it's going. I can't see the other side. Nobody's told me about this mountain. I just kind of randomly found it, and I have to trust that there's something beneficial on the other side. And I think it's going to be more of the same. But I think eventually I will reach the feeling, metaphorically, of getting to the top of the mountain, and I can kind of see out and say, oh, hey, I want to go there next. But first, I have to put in this work and keep my head down one step at a time just to make it to the top, so that I might have the chance to see where I'm going before I have to descend the mountain again and then go into the woods where it's all flat and you can't see past the trees and just try to hit that mark that you set at the top of the mountain. I don't know if that's too complicated of an extended metaphor, but I think it gives me some respite in this time of complexity and also simplicity. So I think that's a good note to end this week on. I feel like this week was a lot less cringy and a little bit less raw than last week. It's still shot completely from my iPhone despite having a DSLR. I don't feel like getting that out and lugging that around. I feel like it's not necessary for what I'm doing here. Maybe I'll eventually get there, but I'm completely satisfied with what I'm doing with these videos at the moment. Besides the fact that I keep forgetting a little bit to take videos of some of the things that I would like to. But I've gotten better about it too, so I'm sure I'll get there. It's another thing I'm confident about. It'll get there, I'm sure. But I'm satisfied with this, and I hope it was decent to watch. I'm sure it wasn't that entertaining, but alas, I think it might be in a little while. And I think right now we're just getting started. And I feel like nobody's going to watch these, but maybe in 3 or 4 months, I might be in some really interesting place in my life, and it could go viral or something, and then people could look back at the very beginning and be like, whoa, I wonder what thing he did, and they're just going to be super disappointed to see that I made these really boring videos, and that my life was very boring, and very plain, and very simple. I'm going to tell them to make the bed, because that's where I started. I don't know. It'll be interesting for sure to look back in time. On this and see what I can apply to it. But for now, I'm good. I will see you next week, and thank you so much. And don't be above the little things, and don't be below going after the big things. I don't know, there's probably a bunch of hodgepodge crip crap that I don't have the authority to say yet. I can't really give advice. All I can do is live my life and put it out here, and you can see what you want to do about it, having seen mine. Maybe you'll want to adopt something, make some adjustments or something like that, but I advise you to do something, to take something in your environment and make it what you want it to be, And even if that's trash on the sidewalk and putting it back in the trash can where it belongs, or seeing bacon laying out of the aisle in Walmart and putting that bacon back where the bacon belongs. That's also a step, but make some step. That's what I'm striving to do. And I think it's worth it. And that's why I think I can recommend it. And I hope your life is getting better, as I think mine is. And I'm sure it'll get worse. And I'm sure yours will get worse too. But if we just get on a path, life is infinitely better than what it would be like off the path. I promise that much. Thank you for the millionth time. Goodbye.